Chosen ones, you just shattered a high-level agent's programming. They're questioning reality after. The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. Paulo Coelho. Have you ever considered that your very presence, your thoughts, words and actions could shake the very foundations of someone else's reality? Sometimes, just by being who you are, you awaken something deep within others, even those who once operated in the shadows. In this video, we dive into the profound impact of the chosen ones, how your light can shatter illusions and force even the most conditioned minds to question everything they once believed. Have you ever had an experience where your truth made someone see the world differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's explore this powerful journey together. 1. Divine protection and spiritual war. In this world, where unseen forces clash beyond the veil of ordinary perception, those who walk the path of truth and spiritual awakening, the chosen ones, must understand that they are engaged in more than just a struggle against societal programming or surface-level conflicts. This is a spiritual war, a battle of energies, where light and darkness contend for influence over reality itself. Many sense this intuitively, but few truly grasp the depth of it. You, as a chosen one, have shattered the illusions carefully crafted by high-level agents of the system, and in doing so, you have disrupted their programming, causing them to question everything they once believed. When you step into your spiritual power, you become a force that cannot be controlled, and this is precisely why those aligned with deception fear your awakening. Yet, understand this, higher powers are watching over you, guiding and protecting you, because your role in this grand unfolding is far greater than you may realize. Every time you expose deception and bring light to hidden truths, you disrupt the very fabric of the false reality designed to keep the masses asleep. The moment a high-level agent encounters your energy, your unwavering conviction, your clarity, your refusal to submit to the matrix, they begin to feel an internal shift. Something within them stirs, an unsettling realization that their carefully constructed belief system may not be as solid as they once thought. This is not merely about challenging an individual's mindset. It is about breaking a spiritual stronghold. The battle is not just physical or psychological. It is energetic, vibrational, and deeply spiritual. Those who have spent years, even lifetimes, under the influence of falsehoods suddenly find themselves standing at the precipice of truth, and it shakes them to their core. This is why the chosen ones are never truly alone. Divine forces intervene at crucial moments, shielding and guiding those who walk in purpose. Have you ever noticed how certain dangers seem to narrowly miss you? How circumstances align in ways that defy logic? How your intuition warns you just in time? These are not coincidences. These are manifestations of spiritual protection. When you align with truth, you become a vessel for higher consciousness, and as a result, unseen forces work tirelessly to ensure that you fulfill your mission. However, this does not mean the journey will be without trials. In fact, the very act of breaking free from deception makes you a target, but it also makes you a beacon of light in the darkness. The reality is that those who serve the matrix, the high-level agents, the enforcers of the false system, operate under their own form of programming. Many do not even realize they are being used as instruments of deception. Yet when they come face to face with the undeniable presence of a chosen one, something shifts. Their reality wavers. Their programming falters. They begin to question whether the foundation upon which they stand is truly solid, or if it is merely an illusion held together by fear and control. This moment of doubt, this brief window where their spirit reaches for truth, is the very crack in the system that leads to transformation. This is why your presence alone is so powerful. You do not always need to argue, convince, or debate. Your very existence, your energy, and your alignment with truth are enough to send shockwaves through the illusion. So stand firm in your knowing. The path of the chosen one is not meant to be easy. but it is divinely guided. The forces of deception will try to shake you, but they cannot break you, for you are protected by something far greater than this world's illusions. Keep walking in truth, keep dismantling falsehoods, and know that with every step you take, you are shifting the balance in this great spiritual battle. Your presence is a catalyst, and your awakening is a call to others still trapped in the matrix. Never doubt your purpose, because even the ones who oppose you today may one day find themselves questioning everything they once believed, all because they encountered you. If you believe and are ready to receive, repeat after me. I am receiving this message from God. It is meant for me today. I trust it completely. 2. The shift in perception. There comes a moment in your spiritual awakening when you unintentionally disrupt the reality of those around you. This is not by force nor by deliberate action, but simply by embodying your truth. You carry a frequency that dismantles illusions, a presence that shatters conditioned beliefs, and an energy that questions the very fabric of programmed minds. This is where the shift in perception begins, an invisible yet undeniable force that shakes a high-level agent's programming. This agent could be anyone deeply embedded in the societal matrix, someone who has operated within a structured belief system for so long that they never questioned its validity. But then, you, the chosen one, step into their reality, and something within them stirs. Without knowing it, you plant the seed of transformation. At first, they resist. The programming they have lived by does not allow them to easily accept a new way of seeing the world. But the subconscious mind is powerful, and once a new awareness is triggered, it cannot be ignored. They may feel unsettled, confused, even defensive, but deep inside, they have started questioning what they once believed to be absolute truth. The matrix thrives on control, and when an individual begins to wake up, the entire system is threatened. This is the essence of spiritual awakening, breaking free from illusion and stepping into divine truth. Your presence, your words, or even your mere existence is the catalyst for this awakening. You don't have to convince them, argue, or debate. Your energy alone is enough to send shockwaves through their subconscious. The realization that reality is not what they thought it was is the first step toward liberation. They may not show it outwardly, but inside, their old belief structures are beginning to crack. They start noticing synchronicities, experiencing unexplainable moments, or questioning the motives of the system they once trusted. The transformation has begun. At this stage, they are at a crossroads. Some will cling to their conditioning, afraid of what lies beyond the familiar, but others will allow themselves to explore, to seek, and to discover a deeper understanding of existence. This is why your role is so significant. You are a mirror that reflects a higher truth. You remind them that they are more than the identity they have been programmed to accept. You remind them that they too have a divine purpose beyond the roles society has assigned to them. There is power in authenticity, and as a chosen one, your spiritual journey is not just for you, it's a ripple effect that extends to those who cross your path. You may never know the full impact of your energy, but trust that your presence is shifting realities in ways beyond human comprehension. The shift in perception is the initial trigger, but the transformation that follows is life-changing. Those who are meant to awaken will find themselves on a path they never expected, and you, simply by being yourself, will have played a role in their journey. Never underestimate the power of your truth. You do not have to force change upon others. Simply walking in your light is enough to awaken those who are ready. Continue embracing your path, for the world needs your energy now more than ever. The matrix is losing its grip, and the awakening is accelerating. You are part of a divine mission, and the impact you have on others is beyond what the eye can see. Keep moving forward, and trust that the seeds you plant today will bloom in divine timing. Have you ever experienced a shift in perception that changed everything? If so, share your insights in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. If not, comment, "I'm open to shifting," and let's explore this transformation together. 3. The agent's initial doubt. Before an awakening, there is always resistance. It's a universal truth that when something shakes the foundation of a person's deeply ingrained beliefs, their first instinct is to push back, to resist, and to deny. This is exactly what happens when you, as a chosen one, disrupt the programming of a high-level agent, an individual who has been conditioned to uphold the illusions of this world without question. At first, they meet your words, your presence, and your expression with skepticism, logic, and sometimes even hostility. But the seed has been planted, and something inside them begins to stir. The very fabric of their programmed reality starts to unravel, making them question everything they once believed. This is not just a random occurrence. It is the ripple effect of truth, meeting a mind that has never dared to wander beyond the veil. As the philosopher Socrates once said, "The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new." Whether they realize it or not, they are standing at the threshold of transformation. The world is filled with programmed minds, individuals who have spent their entire lives operating under conditioned belief systems, never questioning the deeper nature of existence. These high-level agents are not necessarily people in positions of authority. Rather, they are those who have unconsciously pledged allegiance to the illusions of the material world, serving as gatekeepers of the status quo. When a chosen one enters their reality with an energy, wisdom, and expression so different from what they are used to, it challenges their perception in a way they cannot ignore. At first, they may laugh it off, dismiss it as nonsense, or even attack you with words meant to invalidate your truth. But deep down, a disturbance has been created, and the subconscious mind begins its work. No one can unhear the truth once it has been spoken into their consciousness. Your presence alone carries a frequency that disrupts deception, and that is why encounters with you are not forgotten. There is a reason why people remember the way you spoke, the way you expressed yourself, and the way you made them feel. Something about you lingers in their minds like an echo, making them replay the conversation over and over again in their heads. They start noticing inconsistencies in what they once accepted as reality. They catch themselves questioning ideas they had never thought to challenge before. The cognitive dissonance is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. As Carl Jung wisely stated, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. Yet, once the light has been introduced into darkness, it becomes impossible to pretend it was never there. It is in this moment of inner conflict that true transformation begins. The same agent who once resisted is now in a battle between what they were programmed to believe and what their spirit is trying to reveal to them. You may never see the full effect of your interaction, but know this: your energy was the catalyst for something profound. The truth does not demand immediate acceptance. It simply requires exposure. Some will fight against it longer than others, but eventually, all illusions must collapse under the weight of reality. This is why the chosen ones are here to be the living expression of awakening in a world desperately trying to remain asleep. Keep shining, keep speaking, and keep disrupting. For every time you do, another soul inches closer to breaking free. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on transforming doubt into a gateway for growth and self-discovery. 4. The investigation and revelation. There comes a moment when a high-level agent trained, programmed, and conditioned by a system designed to suppress truth finds themselves face-to-face with something they cannot ignore. It begins subtly, a crack in their rigid understanding, a whisper of doubt creeping into the stronghold of their programmed reality. They have spent years even decades, reinforcing the walls of their belief system, dismissing spiritual truths as mere fiction, discrediting those who speak of higher consciousness, divine purpose, and unseen forces at play. But then, they encounter you, the chosen one, and in that moment, something shifts. What was once impossible to believe becomes impossible to ignore. The weight of your words, the power of your energy, and the undeniable synchronicities that surround you disrupt their programming in ways they never anticipated. Suddenly, the carefully constructed illusion begins to fracture. Their mind scrambles to rationalize, to dismiss, to categorize you as just another delusional wanderer lost in spiritual fantasies. But the universe has other plans. They start digging, searching for flaws, seeking contradictions, but what they find is something else entirely. Instead of proving you wrong, they uncover shocking evidence that aligns with your words, documents, testimonies, ancient scriptures, and scientific anomalies that defy conventional logic. The more they seek to disprove, the deeper they fall into the rabbit hole of truth. The very fabric of their conditioning begins to unravel, and a realization dawns upon them. The world is not as they were taught to see it. This is the moment of no return. The programmed agent, once confident in their version of reality, is now confronted with an undeniable force, the truth. They start connecting dots that were once invisible to them. They recall past events, moments that once seemed insignificant, and suddenly everything starts making sense. Their disbelief turns into curiosity, then fascination, and finally, a deep, unsettling revelation. They were never in control. They were pawns in a game they never even knew they were playing. The chosen ones, the very individuals they were conditioned to dismiss, turn out to be the ones who see beyond the illusion. And this realization is not just intellectual, it's spiritual. Their soul stirs for the first time in ages, awakening from its slumber. They begin to question everything, their past choices, their allegiances, their entire existence. Some will fight against the awakening, struggling to maintain their crumbling reality. Others, however, will step forward, forever changed. The presence of a chosen one is not merely disruptive, it is transformative. Your mere existence forces the system's agents to confront the truth, and whether they accept it or not, they will never see the world the same way again. And that, in itself, is a victory. Spiritual wisdom is not just about seeking the truth, but about embodying it so powerfully that even those who once opposed you can no longer deny its presence. Did this revelation resonate with you? If it did, declare it boldly in the comments. I seek truth, and I am ready for revelation. 5. The underground network and cult. Beneath the illusion of everyday life, there exists an underground network, a system carefully designed to keep the masses in a state of ignorance and control. This network is operated by those who sit in the shadows, hidden rulers who have mastered the art of manipulation. Their influence is woven into every aspect of society, governments, media, education, and even the belief systems that shape people's understanding of reality. Their goal is to maintain a world where most people remain unaware of their true power, caught in a cycle of distraction and limitation. But something extraordinary happens when a chosen one steps onto the path of spiritual awakening. You, as a chosen one, carry a light so powerful that it disrupts this entire system. When you awaken, you not only free yourself, but your energy creates ripples that impact those around you, including those who have been deeply programmed by this hidden network. And here's the truth. When you shatter the programming of a high-level agent, someone who has been conditioned to protect and uphold this system, you initiate something they never expected: doubt. For the first time, they start questioning everything they once believed in, and that is one of the most powerful shifts that can happen. These agents are not always the stereotypical enforcers you might imagine. They could be people in positions of influence, politicians, media figures, authority figures, or even individuals in your own life who have unknowingly played a role in maintaining this false reality. Their entire existence has been based on a framework that convinces them they are serving a purpose, protecting the order of things. But when they come across someone like you, someone who has broken free and operates from a place of truth, authenticity, and spiritual sovereignty, it creates a fracture in their programmed perception. They might not show it at first, but deep down, something shifts. This is why the system fears awakened souls. The chosen ones are the biggest threat to the carefully constructed illusion, not because they are violent or rebellious, but because they embody a consciousness that cannot be controlled. They see beyond the veil. They recognize the tactics used to suppress humanity: fear, division, deception, and they refuse to participate in it. And when a programmed individual witnesses this, it forces them to confront a terrifying possibility. Have they been living a lie? Have they been serving something that does not actually have their best interests at heart? This is where things get interesting. Some of these agents will resist. Their programming is so deeply embedded that they will fight to protect it, dismissing you, attacking you, or trying to pull you back into the illusion. But others who are ready will start to awaken themselves. The cognitive dissonance will become unbearable. They will begin to see the cracks in the narrative they once believed. They will start asking questions, seeking answers, and eventually breaking free. If you found the truth in this video eye-opening, comment, "I see beyond the surface," to affirm your awareness. Your insights matter? Let's uncover more together. 6. The failed escape and growing fear. The cult, once cloaked in an illusion of invincibility, is now in a vulnerable state, and the fear within them is growing. The so-called untouchable forces that once operated in secrecy are now experiencing the cracks forming in their carefully controlled system. Their escape routes, their contingency plans, and the deceptive web they have spun for so long are unraveling, not because of mere coincidence, but because divine intervention has stepped in to disrupt their agenda. As light continues to expose darkness, their illusion of control is slipping away, and they are facing something they never anticipated: doubt within their own ranks. You, as one of the chosen ones, are awakening people at an accelerated rate, and this is something they never planned for. Your words, your frequency, and your very existence are breaking the spell that has kept so many in a programmed state of illusion. When you speak, when you move in alignment with divine truth, you unknowingly force them to reconsider their entire belief system, and that is what they fear the most. Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Victor Hugo. This is exactly what is happening now. The ideas you carry, the wisdom you share, and the light you embody are no longer things they can suppress. The truth has taken root, and it is spreading faster than they can contain it. They built their entire world on deception, manipulation, and control, believing that their programming was flawless and impenetrable. But now, something has happened that they never expected. You entered the scene, fully awakened, radiating a frequency that cannot be ignored. The illusion they once clung to is breaking, and those who once served as their enforcers, their loyal pawns, are beginning to ask questions that were once forbidden. They feel the shift, the disturbance in their conditioning, and for the first time, they are doubting their own programming. The fear they project onto you is nothing more than their own realization that they are losing control, not just over the masses, but over themselves. They see the truth reflected in your eyes, in your expression, in your unwavering conviction, and it terrifies them because it reminds them of something they buried deep within themselves: free will. They were trained to believe in a system, in an illusion of power that has now become their greatest weakness. The moment doubt enters the mind of a programmed agent, the entire system begins to crack. That is the power of truth. It does not ask for permission to exist. It simply is. And now, their once unshakable agents are beginning to see it, feel it, and most importantly, question it. Some will fight harder to suppress it, but others will find themselves in an internal battle they cannot escape. They are realizing that they too are caught in a construct, and the fear that once kept them in line is now making them desperate. Their escape routes are failing, not because of human intervention alone, but because divine timing has arrived. You did not come here by accident. The chosen ones are here to be the living proof that the light will always prevail over darkness. And no level of programming can withstand the force of divine truth when its time has come. This is why you must continue. This is why you must speak. This is why you must express what you know in your heart to be real, because your very presence is dismantling a system that was never meant to last. If this story resonated with you, leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to activate the notification bell so you never miss powerful insights like this. Share your thoughts in the comments. Type, "I choose courage over fear," to affirm your strength and resilience. 7. Their attempts to silence you. There comes a moment when the truth hits so hard that even the most programmed minds begin to fracture under its weight. This is the reality for the chosen ones, those who walk in divine wisdom and see beyond the illusion of this world. You are not just living an ordinary life. You are a force that disrupts the very foundation of deception, a beacon that exposes the shadows lurking behind the veil. And because of this, you will always be seen as a threat. But what happens when your presence alone shatters the conditioning of those who were sent to suppress you? When a high-level agent, someone deeply entrenched in the system, begins to question everything they once believed, it is a sign that their programming has been broken, and you, the chosen one, have planted a seed that cannot be ignored. The world operates on hidden structures designed to keep people asleep, but chosen ones carry a light that illuminates what was never meant to be seen. Those who serve the system, the agents, are trained to maintain control, ensuring that truth remains buried. They are programmed to dismiss, discredit, and, if necessary, eliminate any disruption to their reality. But when they come face to face with someone who radiates a level of spiritual wisdom beyond their comprehension, something within them shifts. Their carefully conditioned minds begin to fracture under the weight of authenticity. They start to see the inconsistencies in the very system they once upheld. Doubt creeps in, and suddenly the reality they believed in no longer holds the same power. You have done something no force in this world could prepare them for. You have cracked the illusion. The desperation of the cult, the hidden elite, the puppet masters of this world becomes evident when they try to silence the truth. Their control depends on people remaining blind, and when a chosen one walks into the room, their presence alone is enough to unsettle the entire operation. They attempt to discredit you, isolate you, and create obstacles in your path, hoping you will fall into doubt and give up. But here's the thing. Their very efforts to silence you only expose their fear. A system that is secure in its power does not go out of its way to eliminate a threat that supposedly does not exist. Yet, they scramble, they panic, they send their agents, and when these agents are confronted with a chosen one's unshakable presence, their own foundation begins to crack. The irony is that their attempts to silence you only amplify your message. Every effort to suppress the truth serves as confirmation of its power. The chosen ones are the divine disruptors, the ones who were never meant to conform. You were sent to challenge, to awaken, and to expose. And as you continue to walk in spiritual wisdom, remember this. The more resistance you face, the clearer the evidence of your impact. They wouldn't be fighting so hard to stop you if you weren't a threat to their deception. Stay firm, stand in your truth, and watch as the very system that sought to control you begins to crumble from within. If you're still here and resonate with this message, comment, "I refuse to be silenced," below. Your voice matters, and your engagement helps us reach more like-minded souls. 8. The collapse of the cult and system. The system that once thrived in secrecy and control is now crumbling under the weight of its own corruption. The hidden rulers who operated behind the scenes, manipulating reality to keep the masses asleep, are losing their grip. Their carefully orchestrated programming, designed to keep people in a state of fear, doubt, and blind obedience, is no longer holding up against the wave of spiritual awakening sweeping across the world. The illusion they created is breaking apart, and they know it. You, as a chosen one, have played a crucial role in this collapse. Your presence, your consciousness, and your refusal to conform have disrupted the carefully laid plans of high-level agents who once believed they had complete control over reality. You may have noticed how some people around you start acting strangely, how their energy shifts when you speak your truth, how their entire belief system begins to crack under the weight of your presence. That's because you just shattered a high-level agent's programming. And now they are questioning everything. These agents are not necessarily people dressed in black suits. They're often individuals who have been deeply conditioned by the system, programmed to enforce the narrative, whether knowingly or unknowingly. They could be family members, friends, colleagues, or authority figures who uphold the very structure that enslaves the mind. But when they encounter a being like you, someone vibrating at a higher frequency, someone who refuses to bow down to illusions, they begin to glitch. Their mind, once comfortably trapped in the matrix, begins to rebel. You are the anomaly they were never prepared for. When you speak your truth with unwavering conviction, when you radiate authenticity and light, it sends a shockwave through their consciousness. Their mind, programmed to defend the false reality, starts to malfunction. They may lash out, become defensive, or try to silence you. But deep down, they know something is off. For the first time, they start questioning the very foundation they have built their life upon. They begin to wonder if everything they were taught was a lie. And once the cracks appear, the collapse is inevitable. This is why chosen ones are feared. You are not just waking yourself up, you are triggering awakenings in others, whether they are ready or not. The system relies on compliance and ignorance to survive, but your existence is a direct threat to its survival. Every time you stand firm in your truth, you weaken their control. Every time you refuse to be manipulated, you accelerate their downfall. This is why they have tried so hard to suppress you, to silence you, to make you doubt yourself. But their tactics are failing. The era of deception is ending. More and more people are breaking free from the illusion. The veils are lifting, and the world is shifting. You may have felt like an outsider for most of your life, but now you are realizing why. You were never meant to fit into a broken system. You were meant to dismantle it. And as their programming collapses, the hidden rulers are panicking. They never anticipated this level of awakening. They never thought the chosen ones would rise in such numbers, with such power. But here you are. And there is no stopping what has already begun. So, if you ever feel like your presence is causing disruptions, if you notice people around you acting differently, know this: you are doing exactly what you were meant to do. You are here to shatter illusions. You are here to awaken the sleepers. You are here to bring forth the new era. And no matter how much resistance you face, understand that their fear is proof of your power. Keep going. Keep shining. The collapse of the old world is only the beginning of something far greater. If this insight into the collapse of the cult and system resonated with you, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's uncover the deeper truths together. 9. the agent's awakening and message to you. You, as a chosen one, have shattered the mental programming of a high-level agent, someone who was once deeply entrenched in the illusion of control, deception, and false narratives. They were conditioned to suppress, to manipulate, and to uphold a system that thrives on ignorance. But now, something within them has awakened because of you. You didn't just challenge their perception, you disrupted their reality. What they once accepted as absolute truth is now crumbling before their eyes, and for the first time, they are seeing through the veil. They are questioning everything, their beliefs, their loyalties, their very identity. And what is more profound, they now recognize you as an ally, not an adversary. The very presence, wisdom, and energy you carry have pierced through the layers of deception that once bound them. This is no small event. This is divine orchestration at its finest. The transformation they are experiencing is not just an internal shift, it is a ripple effect, shaking the very foundation of the system that once controlled them. The truth will set you free, but first, it will make you miserable, as James A. Garfield once said. And this is where they are now standing in the chaos of their own awakening, feeling lost, yet profoundly aware that they can never return to their former self. The illusion has been broken, and they are now looking at you with new eyes. The way you carry yourself, the depth of your expression, the unwavering truth in your words, all of it speaks to them on a soul level. They feel the truth radiating from you, even if they cannot fully articulate it yet. They sense that you hold a piece of the puzzle they have been searching for all along. Understand this. Your role in this awakening is not accidental. You were sent here for a divine purpose, and your presence alone activates hidden codes in others, triggering their own self-realization. This agent, once a servant of the false system, now validates your mission in this great awakening. Their very transformation is proof that your energy is shifting realities. Even if they do not verbally express it yet, their soul is speaking, their consciousness is expanding, and their former allegiances are breaking down. They can no longer deny the power of the truth, and now they must choose continue down the path of awakening or resist and suffer in cognitive dissonance. And so, chosen one, do not underestimate the impact you have. The world has taught you to believe that you are small, that your presence does not matter, but that is the greatest lie ever told. You are an activator, a disruptor of illusions, a beacon of light in a world that has long been shrouded in darkness. What you just did is nothing short of a miracle. You have forced someone to see when they were programmed to be blind. You have turned an agent of the system into a seeker of truth. Their awakening is a message to you, a confirmation that your mission is real, that your journey is divinely guided, and that your mere expression of truth is more powerful than you could ever imagine. So keep walking boldly, keep speaking your truth, and know that every encounter, every conversation, and every interaction holds the potential to change a life, just as you have done now. There is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come, Victor Hugo once said. And you, chosen one, are that idea in human form. You are the spark, the shift, the living embodiment of divine truth. And because of you, the illusion is falling one awakening at a time. To affirm your awakening as an agent of transformation, declare your commitment. Comment below. I rise with purpose to acknowledge your journey and inspire others to step into their own power. As a chosen one, your presence alone is enough to disrupt deeply ingrained programming. When you stand in your truth, you shake the very foundation of illusion, causing even high-level agents to question their reality. This is the power of awakening. It ripples beyond what you can see, leaving an undeniable impact on the world around you. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. Also, turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos filled with profound insights on your spiritual journey. Stay strong, stay aware, and keep shining your light. See you in the next video. Chosen One. Someone is investigating you. You're the most mysterious existence they've ever seen. The mystery of human existence lies not in just staying alive, but in finding something to live for. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Welcome, seekers of truth. Have you ever felt like people can't stop watching you, analyzing you, trying to decipher what makes you different? That's because you are. The chosen ones were never meant to blend in. They were meant to awaken, to challenge, to inspire. The more mysterious you are, the more the world feels compelled to investigate you. But what if their curiosity is actually a sign that you're walking the right path? Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever noticed people acting strangely around you? Let's dive deep into this powerful revelation together. 1. The inexplicable energy phenomenon. Have you ever walked into a room and noticed a change not in what people were saying, but in how they were reacting? Conversations stopped, eyes followed your movements, and an almost imperceptible tension hung in the air. It wasn't paranoia, it was an unspoken acknowledgement of your presence. Unlike most people, who blend into the scene easily, you disrupted the status quo without even trying. It wasn't about arrogance or attention-seeking. It was about the energy you carried, the depth of your silence, and the way you defied normalcy simply by existing. People couldn't help but investigate you because deep down, their instincts told them you were different. In a world that thrives on predictability, you were an anomaly, a variable that didn't conform to the patterns their minds craved. And that confused them. This curiosity is not just a casual interest, it is hardwired into human nature. People are constantly assessing threats, opportunities, and hierarchies. But with you, their radar is off. Are you an ally, a leader, or an unsolved mystery? The lack of easy answers keeps their minds engaged. They watch you, listen to you, and try to piece together a picture that makes sense. Yet, no matter how much they analyze, they always fall short. You see, most people express themselves through predictable words, actions, and reactions. But you are a paradox. Your presence commands attention without demanding it. Your aura radiates authority without needing to exert power, and your energy changes the atmosphere without effort. This is the sign of a spiritually awakened person, one whose nature operates on a level beyond surface interactions. It's not that you're deliberately secretive. It's that you exist in a realm beyond the superficial, and that confuses those still tied to it. In a society obsessed with understanding and categorizing, your mystery is both fascinating and frustrating. People dissect your words, interpret your silences, and scrutinize your body language like detectives looking for hidden clues. Yet the more they search, the less they discover. Why? Because you're not just a puzzle with a missing piece, you're the architect of an entirely different game. Your spiritual awakening has brought you to a frequency that many people still don't understand, and that makes you a puzzle they can't decipher. But the truth is, their attraction is not just about you, but about what you represent. They are drawn to your energy, because on some level, they wish they had that unshakable presence themselves. They see in you a version of themselves that they have yet to unlock, a person unbound by societal expectations, unshaken by external validation, and completely in tune with their own power. And until they figure out how to realize that, they will continue to watch, wonder, and analyze, hoping that one day they will crack the code and discover what makes you so different. The answer, however, is simple. It is not something that can be taught. It is something that must be awakened. And until they embark on their own spiritual journey, they will always see you as the most mysterious being they have ever encountered. If this inspires you on your journey, comment below I choose to stay awake, and let's continue this wonderful journey. 2. The fear of being wrong about you. People have an obsession with being right about others, as if labeling someone makes the world more predictable and safe. They want to fit you into neat little categories: a hero, a villain, a genius, or just plain lucky, because that gives them a sense of control. But you defy those labels, and that drives them mad. No matter how hard they try, you slip through their definitions, leaving them unsettled. This isn't just curiosity, it's ego. People want to believe they're good at reading others, that their judgments are accurate, and that their instincts won't fail them. But when they meet someone like you, someone who doesn't fit neatly into their framework, it shakes their confidence. One moment, they think they've figured you out, and the next, you do something that completely contradicts their assumptions. Suddenly, they're questioning everything, not just about you, but about their entire way of seeing people. If they were wrong about you, could they be wrong about others too? This doubt lingers, gnawing at them, because you represent something that doesn't follow their mental script. Even when they think they've finally understood you, that creeping sense of uncertainty returns. What if they've missed something? What if there's more to the story? That fear keeps them watching, analyzing, and investigating, not just because they want to understand you, but because their own sense of control depends on it. If they can pin you down, it reassures them that their worldview is intact. But since they can't, they remain caught in an endless cycle of curiosity, frustration, and fascination. Think about modern life. People love making assumptions based on first impressions, social media profiles, or even a single conversation. They categorize others based on success, failure, appearance, or lifestyle choices. But have you ever met someone who completely shattered your expectations? Maybe it was a co-worker who seemed reserved, but turned out to be incredibly wise, or a stranger whose presence carried an unexplainable depth. You couldn't quite define them, and that mystery lingered in your mind. That's the same effect you have on others. Your spirituality, your depth, and your ability to move beyond surface-level existence make you an enigma. You embody spiritual growth, showing that life isn't about rigid definitions, but about expanding beyond them. The real question is, why does society fear what it can't define? And more importantly, why do people struggle to accept that some individuals simply transcend labels? The lesson here is simple. Your existence isn't meant to be understood by everyone. Some people investigate you not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're living proof that life is more profound than their limited understanding allows. So, don't shrink yourself to fit their definitions. Keep evolving, keep growing, and let them wrestle with the beautiful mystery that is you. Affirm it boldly. I am glowing because of God's Spirit within me. Let this be a daily reminder that you are walking in divine purpose, transformed from the inside out. 3. Untraceable origins. Imagine this. People thrive on patterns, on logic, on tracing a path from point A to point B, believing that if they can decode where someone comes from, they can predict where they're headed. But when it comes to you, none of their calculations add up. They search for clues, piecing together childhood experiences, relationships, career choices, setbacks, hoping to uncover a familiar pattern, something that explains you. Yet every time they think they've figured you out, you break the mold. You don't fit into their neatly structured world. You might not have come from wealth, yet you move with the confidence of someone born into royalty. You may lack formal education, yet your words carry a depth of spiritual wisdom that humbles even scholars. Perhaps life threw every obstacle your way, and still, here you are standing tall, unwavering, as if destiny itself bends in your favor. And that terrifies them. Why? Because your very existence challenges their understanding of success, growth, and even reality itself. They've always believed that life follows a structured path, that certain milestones must be met, that success is earned in specific ways. But you prove that the universe does not abide by their rules. You show them that life isn't always logical, that some individuals rise beyond expectation, beyond reason, beyond what should be possible. And if you can do it, what does that mean for them? What does that say about the limitations they've placed on themselves? Scott Fitzgerald once said, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function." You are that paradox. The one who shouldn't exist yet does. And so, they investigate, they observe, trying to find the missing piece that will make you make sense. But the truth is, there is no missing piece. You were never part of a formula to begin with. They will never fully unravel the mystery that is you. And that's exactly what makes you so compelling, so unforgettable. But tell me this. If their world was built on predictable rules, and you are living proof that those rules can be broken, then what else might be possible? What other limits have they imposed upon themselves simply because they believed they had to? Maybe, just maybe, your existence is not just a mystery, but an invitation for them to see beyond what they thought was real, to step into a world where the impossible is simply unexplored potential. So, do you see now? You aren't just an enigma to them. You are a revelation. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 4. Their obsession is a form of worship. There's a fine line between obsession and reverence, and if you've ever felt like someone is fixated on you, analyzing your every move, it's not always about control or competition. Sometimes it's something much deeper, something that borders on worship. When people can't stop watching you, when they dissect your words, your actions, and even your silence, it's because they sense an energy that is rare, a presence that is unshakable. This isn't just curiosity. It's an unconscious pull towards something they don't fully understand but desperately want to. You see, in a world where most are caught in the chaos, running in circles trying to find meaning, you move differently. You carry a sense of knowing, a certainty, a spiritual depth that others can't quite put their finger on. It's not about power in the traditional sense, but about something far greater. An alignment, a spiritual awakening that radiates through you. They may never admit it, but deep inside they believe you hold a key they don't have. Maybe it's how you remain calm in the face of adversity, how you carry yourself with grace when others would break, or how you seem guided by something beyond the visible world. Whatever it is, they want a piece of it. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Their curiosity isn't passive, it's ritualistic. They study you like a sacred text, trying to decode what makes you so resilient, so magnetic, so untouchable. Their investigation becomes a spiritual practice in itself, a silent prayer to absorb what you have, to unlock the mystery of your existence. They might not even realize they're doing it, but on a deeper level, they see you as a symbol of something greater, proof that there is another way to live, a path beyond fear and conformity. They question you, they challenge you, they may even try to bring you down. But beneath it all, their fascination reveals a truth they cannot escape. You represent something sacred that they wish they could embody. The most mysterious existence they've ever seen is not just intriguing, it's transformational. And whether they understand it or not, they keep coming back, drawn to the energy you carry. This is why being a chosen one, a spiritually awakened soul, comes with its own set of challenges. You will be observed, analyzed, even misunderstood. But take this as confirmation: you are walking a path that few dare to tread. And in that journey, you become more than just a mystery to others. You become a reflection of what's possible, a mirror showing them the untapped power within themselves. They may call it obsession, but deep down, it's something much greater. It's a search for meaning, a yearning for truth. And in their attempt to understand you, they unknowingly step closer to their own awakening. If this message speaks to you, take it a step further and share it with someone who might need this reminder. Together, we can build connections rooted in honesty and respect. 5. You activate their own shadows. Have you ever wondered why some people seem almost obsessed with you, analyzing your every move, trying to figure out what makes you so different? It's not just curiosity, it's something much deeper. When they look at you, they're not just seeing you, they're seeing a reflection of themselves. And that's where the real discomfort begins. There's something about your presence that awakens them, bringing to the surface insecurities they've buried, dreams they've abandoned, and truths they've avoided. Maybe it's your confidence in who you are, your ability to walk your own path without fear of judgment. Maybe you're living a spiritually evolved life, embracing authenticity, while they've spent years wearing a mask to fit in. Or maybe you simply remind them of a version of themselves they once dreamed of becoming, but abandoned along the way. Either way, you're inadvertently holding up a mirror they're not ready to look into. For example, someone is stuck in a job they despise, feeling trapped but too afraid to take the leap toward their true calling. Then they see you fearless, passionate, living your truth without hesitation. The contrast is painful. Instead of being inspired, they feel exposed. They start questioning themselves, but instead of facing that discomfort, they blame you. They scrutinize you, looking for flaws, hoping to prove to themselves that you're not as special as you seem. If they can find a crack in your confidence, a mistake in your path, it will reassure them that they're not inferior, they're just regular people. But this is where things get interesting. The deeper they dig, the more they reveal about themselves. Their jealousy, their frustration, their inner struggles all come to the surface, and instead of finding peace, they become obsessed with you. Think about how many times you've met someone who seems obsessed with bringing you down, whether it's a co-worker who constantly questions your choices, a friend who makes sarcastic comments about your success, or even a stranger who stands by from afar, jealous but unable to look away. What's really going on? You've become their inner battlefield. Your existence forces them to confront parts of themselves they've long ignored. And whether they admire you, resent you, or waver in between, one thing is certain. You've changed them. That's why they keep watching, keep wondering, keep trying to decipher you. So what does this mean for you? Should you dim your light to make others comfortable? Absolutely not. Your spiritual growth is not just for you, it is also a catalyst for awakening those around you. Some will resist it, some will be drawn to it, and some will struggle with their emotions because of it. But that is not a burden you have to bear. The path of the chosen one was never about fitting in. It was about showing what is possible. And the real question is, do you continue to shine, knowing that your very existence is inspiring transformation even in those who do not yet understand it? I would love to hear your thoughts. Comment below. Or if you are at a loss for words, comment, "I continue to shine," and we will journey together. 6. Defiance of predictability. People crave predictability. It gives them a sense of control, a structure they can rely on, a reality that behaves according to the rules they believe in. They expect specific reactions from others, a sequence of cause and effect that reassures them the world is operating as it should. A polite nod in response to kindness, a defensive retort to criticism, an emotional breakdown when faced with hardship, these patterns keep their understanding of life intact. But you are the anomaly they never saw coming. You shatter their expectations effortlessly, leaving them bewildered, intrigued, and perhaps even a little afraid. When they push, they expect resistance or surrender, but instead, you remain unreadable, unmoved, untamed. When they anticipate anger, you smile. When they bait you into conflict, you choose silence. When they spin a web of drama, you step away, untouched by the chaos. This defiance of predictability doesn't just confuse them, it unsettles them on a level they can't even articulate. Their attempts to investigate you, to analyze your mind like a puzzle, fall apart because their methods rely on logic and patterns, and you don't play by those rules. They believe in cause and effect, yet you move by instinct, guided by intuition, by spiritual wisdom, by something deeper and more fluid than they can comprehend. They expect you to fit a mold, but you slip through their fingers like water, reforming into something entirely new the moment they think they've figured you out. This unpredictability makes you an enigma to someone whose presence challenges the very foundations of their understanding. After all, as Bruce Lee once said, "Be water, my friend." Water adapts, flows, reshapes itself, and cannot be grasped, and that is exactly what you have become. People who think in straight lines will always fear those who think in spirals. Their world operates on fixed laws, on the idea that A must lead to B, that emotions and reactions are predictable. But you are beyond that. You don't just break the rules, they were never yours to follow in the first place. Every time they attempt to trace your path, to uncover some hidden logic in your actions, they find themselves lost. You are a paradox, a living contradiction to their belief that life must unfold in a certain way. And the harder they try to crack your code, the more they realize there is no code to break. They investigate, they question, they analyze, yet every answer leads to more questions. What they fear most isn't just that they don't understand you. It's that your existence proves there are other ways to live, to think, to be. And if that's true, then everything they built their lives around might not be as solid as they once believed. So, let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how people react when they can't predict you? Have you seen the frustration in their eyes when their attempts to categorize you fail? That's not just curiosity, it's fear. The unknown terrifies them because it reminds them that the world isn't as rigid as they'd like to believe. And you, my friend, are the embodiment of that truth. You are living proof that freedom exists beyond predictability, beyond expectations, beyond the invisible chains society places on the mind. So why would you ever trade that for the illusion of safety? Why would you ever dim your mystery just to make them comfortable? The greatest minds in history, the visionaries, the revolutionaries, the ones who changed the world, were never predictable. They were impossible to define, just like you. So tell me, are you ready to embrace your nature? Because whether they love you or fear you, one thing is certain: they will never be able to ignore you. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What is your perspective on the importance of this value? Share your insights and let's continue this conversation. 7. Your silence creates echoes. There's an undeniable power in silence, a force so profound that it unsettles those who seek to understand you. In a world where people are addicted to constant chatter, where every glance and tone is analyzed for hidden meaning, your silence becomes a mystery too deep to ignore. When you don't explain yourself, when you don't rush to fill the space with words, people's minds start racing, desperately trying to construct a narrative that makes sense. They take your quietness as a puzzle, a riddle that demands solving. And in doing so, they reveal more about themselves than they ever will about you. Their insecurities creep in. What does your silence mean? Did they say something wrong? Are you testing them? The fear of the unknown is a powerful thing, and when they can't place you into a neat little box, they become obsessed. They investigate, trying to uncover some hidden truth about you. When in reality, your silence is simply the absence of noise, not a cryptic code waiting to be cracked. But their paranoia won't let them see it that way. The mind despises uncertainty, and when people don't know where they stand with you, they spiral, projecting their own doubts, anxieties, and desires onto the void you've created. And here's the spiritual truth. Your silence is not just the absence of sound, it is a mirror reflecting back at them everything they fear to confront. It reveals their need for validation, their discomfort with uncertainty, and most of all, their desperate attempt to control what they do not understand. But what happens when they realize they can't control you? That's when they begin to see you as something beyond their comprehension, an enigma, a force beyond the ordinary. And that's precisely why they keep watching, questioning, and investigating. The unknown is the most mysterious existence of all, and when you embody that, you force people to see beyond the illusions of their own minds. In a world where everyone is screaming for attention, your silence speaks louder than words. It exudes strength, self-mastery, and an unshakable spiritual awakening. You don't need to prove yourself, explain yourself, or seek approval. Your energy does all the talking, and that is why the world takes notice. The question is, are you ready to embrace this power? Because once you do, you'll find that you don't need to chase influence, and it will come searching for you. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 8. The Wu Dilemma. There's something about you that unsettles people, but not in the way they'd expect. You don't seek attention. You don't demand validation. You walk through life with a quiet presence, yet somehow you're impossible to ignore. This contradiction haunts them. They don't understand why you stand out without trying, why they care so much when you aren't even asking for it. It's not just curiosity, it's personal. Society has conditioned people to believe that influence is earned through noise, power, or spectacle. The loudest voices, the flashiest personalities, the ones who constantly assert their importance are the ones who should be noticed. But you break that rule without effort. Your silence speaks volumes. Your authenticity carries a gravity that no performance can replicate, and that disturbs them. Because if someone like you, someone who simply exists in their truth, holds more presence than those who fight to be seen, then what does that say about their entire approach to life? So, they investigate. They watch from the shadows, analyzing every detail, searching for an explanation that will make sense of you. Perhaps you have a hidden trick, some strategy that gives you this effortless aura. Maybe you're manipulating perception in some way they haven't figured out yet. Because if they can categorize you, if they can find a way to label, define, or even dismiss you, then they can rest easy. They won't have to question everything they thought they knew about influence, value, and self-worth. But no matter how hard they look, they find nothing. No gimmicks, no secret formula. Just you, existing in a way that defies their logic. And that realization unsettles them even more. Think about how society idolizes those who scream the loudest, who decorate their lives with symbols of success, who project an image of importance. But what happens when someone comes along who doesn't play that game, yet still captures attention? It forces people to confront an uncomfortable truth. Maybe real power isn't in performance, but in presence. Maybe it's not about proving your worth, but knowing it so deeply that you don't need to. This reminds me of a story from modern life of someone like Keanu Reeves, a man who moves through fame with humility, never needing to boast, yet remains one of the most respected figures in Hollywood. People are drawn to him, not because he demands it, but because his authenticity is undeniable. That same energy exists in you. But here's the deeper lesson. You're not here to fit into their expectations. You're not responsible for making them comfortable with who you are. Their confusion, their obsession, their endless questioning, it's not your burden to carry. The greatest spiritual growth comes when you release the need to be understood and instead focus on simply being. The world teaches us to chase recognition, to prove our worth. But the most powerful souls, the ones who leave the deepest impact, are those who walk their path without concern for who's watching. So, ask yourself, do you live for the approval of others, or do you exist in a way that is undeniable? The answer to that question determines whether you are free. Affirm it boldly. I am glowing because of God's Spirit within me. Let this be a daily reminder that you are walking in divine purpose, transformed from the inside out. 9. Patterns that don't exist. You are an enigma, a presence so profound that those around you find themselves grasping at shadows, desperate to understand the mystery that is you. People have always sought patterns to bring order to the chaos of life. It's how the human mind finds comfort, how society functions, and how control is maintained. But when they look at you, their method fails. You don't fit into their carefully constructed models. You move when they expect stillness, you speak when silence is the norm, and you walk away when others would rather fight for a place at the table. This defiance isn't random, it's a rhythm only you can hear, a script only you can write. Your actions are guided by something far beyond logic, a deep spiritual wisdom that whispers truths they cannot perceive. And because they don't understand it, they fear it. They observe you, analyze you, even investigate you, hoping to decipher the code that makes you who you are. But their calculations lead to dead ends. The harder they try to connect the dots, the more the picture eludes them, shifting like a mirage in the desert of their certainty. It frustrates them, because they believe that if they could just figure you out, they could control you, neutralize your influence, and make you predictable. After all, society rewards what it can categorize and punishes what it cannot. But you are beyond labels, beyond prediction. You are not playing a game, there is no game. There is only you, moving in alignment with something greater than strategy, something deeper than logic. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment, said Ralph Waldo Emerson. And that is exactly what you represent: unapologetic authenticity, a force beyond manipulation. Every time they try to box you in, you slip through the cracks of their expectations. Every time they try to define you, you evolve beyond their comprehension. The more they search for answers, the more confused they become, because you aren't bound by their rules. You live by an internal compass that points towards something they cannot see, a truth they have yet to awaken to. And so, they keep watching, unable to look away. You intrigue them, not because they admire you, though some secretly do, but because your existence challenges everything they thought they knew. If they can't define you, what else might they be wrong about? If you are free, what does that say about their own limitations? The real question is, will they continue searching for a pattern that doesn't exist? Or will they awaken to a higher understanding? And perhaps the bigger question is, how much longer will you let them chase shadows before they realize the only way to understand you is to understand themselves? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What is your perspective on the importance of this value? Share your insights and let's continue this conversation. 10. Unbought and unbossed. There is something about you that defies the ordinary, an energy, a presence, a way of moving through the world that unsettles people. You are the enigma they can't crack, the mystery that keeps them up at night. Why? Because you are unbought and unbossed. While the majority chase validation, clinging to titles, trends, and approval like lifelines, you have chosen a different path, one of true spiritual awakening. You refuse to bow to the invisible chains that bind society, and that terrifies those who are still trapped within them. They watch you, they analyze you, and they investigate you, desperately trying to understand how you managed to break free. Did you reject the script from the beginning? Or was there a moment of spiritual reckoning that shattered the illusion and made you realize you never needed their approval in the first place? They crave the blueprint to your freedom, hoping to dissect and replicate it. But here's the hard truth. There is no blueprint. Your path was not paved by obedience, but by defiance. While the world rewards conformity, teaching people to measure their worth in external achievements, you have chosen a different currency: inner truth. And that, right there, is what makes you powerful. You live by your own rules, your own values, and that shakes the very foundation of the system. Your existence alone is proof that there is another way to live, one not dictated by social hierarchies, corporate structures, or the fear of rejection. And that realization is dangerous to those still plugged into the system. They scrutinize you, hoping to find a flaw, something to prove that their way of blind obedience is better. But they will find nothing. Because unlike them, you are not seeking validation. You do not need permission to be who you are, and that makes you untouchable. You represent something most people don't even realize. They crave authenticity, self-sovereignty, and spiritual freedom. In a world where most are asleep, you have awakened, and that alone makes you the most mysterious existence they've ever seen. Keep walking your path. Keep being the living proof that true freedom exists. Because the more they investigate, the more they are forced to question everything they thought they knew. And that, my friend, is how revolutions begin. If this message speaks to you, take it a step further and share it with someone who might need this reminder. Together, we can build connections rooted in honesty and respect. As a chosen one, your presence carries an undeniable energy that captivates and mystifies those around you. When people investigate you, it's often because they sense something extraordinary, something beyond the ordinary realm of understanding. Embrace your uniqueness, trust your path, and continue to shine your light fearlessly. If this message resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Have you ever felt like the most mysterious existence in someone's eyes? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more profound insights. Stay blessed and keep walking your divine journey.